Kia ora everyone, and hello and welcome to my DC10 CLS tutorial about the stalling of this aircraft. Now, a lot of you have been having trouble trying to take off and the aircraft seems to plummet to the ground. There are a few reasons why this is happening, so I'm going to quickly take you through to them. I've been onto the FSNS Dream Team forum and I've had many answers coming back to ask why my DC10 is stalling, and this is mainly happening with the DC1030 and the DC1040. Okay, just before we go into the instruments, as you can see, this is a Swissair DC1030 at Auckland International Airport in New Zealand, and I'm just going around the aircraft for you at the moment so you can get a familiar idea of what it is. Okay. Alright, now before I actually go into the flight deck, I will just show you this impeccable aircraft, which is so good. Okay, now the engines, this is number one, which is called number one on the left. Number two is the actual tail engine, and over here is number three, which is the right engine for the aircraft. Okay, now we're inside the aircraft. Now I'm just going to show you a very few important factors, and I'll bring this up closely because I have actually set this up. This button is called your flight director. This must always be on, always. This is your speed indicator. When you take off, it's got to be at least 270 kilometers an hour. Okay, nav 1. Okay, which is your ATC communication between you and tower and the ILS of the runway. So Auckland Airport is 110.30. Just down here, I'm going to show you a few problems that people are encountering. Okay, now nav 1 and nav 2 must always be down because they're your communicators to the aircraft and to your flight path as well. Your FMC, which is this particular thing, is where you program all your functions of your flight details. Okay, the main reason for some of the stalling is, this is the big problem here. The flaps, you're meant to adjust them 3 times. Okay, so at the moment it's at 15 degrees, which is the takeoff level for the aircraft. Some go to 20, but I prefer 15 because your aircraft has to vertically be up in the air, but not too hard up in the air. What I mean is the vertical speed of it. Now in the rotation, I've set the altitude to 5,000. Sorry, this is your altitude, so you push that in. This is your vertical speed indicator. Okay, I've got it. What it is that you push the bottom and you look for 1,800 feet is the maximum you need. Don't go any more than that. Here you've got to make sure that you've got your heading set for the runway. So runway 5 right is what we're using. Okay, so you've got to look for it, which will be heading 51. So you've set that. Make sure your GPS is on. Okay, and that's set there for you. Make sure also you set your course heading here as well. So if you go like this, 51, okay, make sure that is also 51. Now, another important factor to stop the stalling, these are your engine feeds down here. This is number 1 engine. Make sure they're off before you actually commence a flight or you're about to taxi. Once you get clearance, switch these on. And this is the number 2, which is the tail, and number 3, which is the far right. Okay, they've got to be on. If you don't have them on, the aircraft will run out of its fuel because it's blocking it and it'll stall. And number 4 factor, make sure that these APU generators are on. These generate the power to your engines, And all of these dials that you see up here, make sure that you switch this to run, which is your APU when you're on the ground, and these other ones that follow, because if you don't have them on, you'll have no power to the aircraft and you can't communicate or do anything. Make sure that your battery switch is on, not off. Okay, and also your external power switch must be on. Alright, another quick problem we're having. Okay, just above here, as you can see, these red handles here, these are to shut the engine down when you stop the aircraft. Okay, that's engine 1 to the left, the tail engine number 2, and number 3 to the right. They must be up before you leave. Okay, if they're down, your aircraft will not leave the ground. Okay, because it's screaming out to you to do something about it. Up here, you got your fuel valves or vapors. Make sure they're on before you leave. And this is your engine start. You push these buttons, engine 1, number 2, number 3. Over here is your yaw damper. Make sure that they're switched on before you leave. And your anti-skid is on. Alright. Your APU is already on. Make sure that your cool buttons are on. And all your main lights, your landing lights, your storm lights. As you can see up here, this is telling me that they're all on at the moment. Over here, excuse me, is the anti-ice. Make sure that they're on. The window anti-ice, as you can see, they're starting to come up over here on the readings. Make sure the strobe is on. And that you've got your light set there. Now, one other problem that people are encountering is you get it started, why is it still stalling? Okay, if we come down here, here's your main reason. If these little wee pump controls, which actually push the motor to start and boost, once you, over here, these little wee dials, once they get up to 20, you hit the first one, and all of a sudden, these will just bang, they'll start. That's to ignite the motor. This is your spoiler, which is your reverse thrust. Never have it down. Always leave it where it is. Okay, and make sure you're on 20 degrees flaps. Okay, I'm going to try and start this big fella up now, so we can just get an idea on how it works, see the controls. And we'll see how we go from there. I've tried to book a time to get out of here with the controller. We'll see how we go. But at the moment, okay, there's one other thing before I start. Okay, as you can see, the aircraft, all the doors are open. The keyboard where you push Shift E1, 2, E, F1, F2, F3 do not work on the CLS models, unfortunately. So this is how they actually work. Just bring you back here. So this little button here, you turn that on, and down below you can see what I've got here is what you need to do. So this little one here represents the doors, so you come across here. So you want to close everything up before you leave. So door 1, 2, 3, 4, cargo doors, the AFT rear doors, that's where the tail and the engine is. Okay, you want to switch that off, and you can see now they're closing. And you've got all your lights going, you've got your TCAS light going, everything. So I've got to try and see if I can get control tower to let us fly. Okay. I'll just see if I can get on the control tower. I want to request to go out, straight out, so... Okay, 5 right, we've got it. We were stuck here, delayed here a few minutes ago, so... Alright, let's have a look. Good one, we're ready to go. I have to see what I can do here. Just call ground crew. Oh, yep, we're about to go out. Alright, we'll get a better one on this. Now what you do is you wait for him to connect you up. And he'll let you know that he's ready to go. Okay, ready for pushback. Okay, alright, so we have to fire her up. So what we do is push this one on. And as you can see, it's starting to rev up, so push that up. And there's number 1 started for you already, okay? We'll do number 2, that's the tail. And you can see she's starting to boost. So she's gone up to 20. She should give her a bit of power to go. There she goes. And you do the same with number 3. Okay. There's number 3. And we start getting pushback now. And there we have it. Okay, as you can see, our horizontal stabilizer main edge wing flaps have come out. Okay, I've deployed the main flaps. I'll just spin her around here. And you can see I've got the 20 degrees flaps there to go. Okay, so that's all it really needs. I'll come back to you once we get ourselves off the ground.